cooperating this with my friend already, so I have a couple of hours, I would say 4 or 5 hours maybe, under my belt in that cooperation game. But for this session, I decided to go. With a different character, start from the beginning, so I don't first of all ruin the cooperation game, and also because I wanted to give you a little bit insight where this all starts from. And to reply minikin kanavas questions, I do have some Ardbeg. This is Ardbeg and Oa. So which I think I got this bottle a couple of years ago from an airport. So it's obviously Islay single malt, which just happens to be my favorite kind of. Hello, Yuki Yamamoto. Arigato. Obviously, I cannot read those Japanese letters, so there you have it. So here at the start, I don't know if people are familiar with the gameplay, but the thing here is you got 4 characters to start with. The storyline is pretty goofy. There's a couple of weird streamer buddies, a couple of siblings or whatever, who are just trying to, you know, fuck up the whole universe, fuck up the whole world, and blah blah blah. So, pretty basic story, but this is always covered with shit humor. That is literally shit humor, lots of toilet humor, lots of poops and all that stuff. It's very simple style. You just focus on the action rather than the storyline. About the Goat Moon interview, to be honest, I don't know how it's going to be. First of all, oh, Vezu, alright, cheers. Good to know. About this coronavirus thing, fucking things up. First of all, I was supposed to do a Goat Moon interview after or before a gig in near neighborhooding city where they're supposed to play in May. I would assume it's a rather small city and small gig that is, and as such it shouldn't be too much affected by the corona, but obviously we don't know how it's gonna be when things go.
A robotic beast, a siren, a covert operative returning home, retired from corporate hits, a robotic beast master.
You don't know. So we have to see kind of what happens with the Goat Moon gig and
no Vault Hunter, huh?
Things gonna be with the Goat Moon interview.
A hell of a time to join the Crimson
I wish I could give you a straight answer, but to be honest,
good to see someone survived the attack.
This kind of a virus
I'm Lilith,
epidemic.
commander of the Crimson Raiders. Those bandits you fought.
Hello,
are part of
Dreary
a
August.
cult
Yes, I am trying to make
you and I
this
are
Saturday
For now, my scout
kind
is
of
waiting
a
for you up
habit.
ahead.
Obviously,
Good luck.
I'm not gonna do
spoken
every Saturday and whatever, but I try
This
to
is
do
your
it,
stop,
nowadays
Vault
from every weekend, possibly Saturdays if possible, because this is just a
Try to stay alive.
for me to
I'd hate
stay
to
up
lose
late
a
and all
new
that stuff,
customer.
and you know, just game and talk shitty with you guys and gals, and you know, talk about metal. Obviously, once again, even though I'm gaming, feel free to just ask me anything. It's more about, you know, talking to you guys rather than me focusing on gaming fully. I mean, I try to game as possible, as much as possible, while talking to you and showing you the games, obviously. So it's
You
more
are
about
allowed to call me
50% dialogue,
until I
50%
decide if I am
gaming.
going to kill
Because
you.
if I would be totally focusing on the gaming, I probably couldn't, reply to your questions.
Tried to murder you are the children of the vault.
Now, about this
Bandit
dialogue
cults
in the
who follow
game,
their
to
creepy
be
leaders
honest,
with
I
blind
don't
devotion.
find it very
Which reminds me,
interesting,
if you're going to obey
because
my
it's
every
the
second
type
call,
of
you'll
humor
need an
which is
echo
always
device.
present here. It's not bad, but to be honest, it's not, you know, it's not like Tarantino stuff. It's just, well, you know, Borderlands humor,
The
which is not too
Echo
great,
3,
to be honest.
Slightly more powerful than the Echo 2.
No, I actually haven't played Silent
The Echo 2
Hill.
had
I
a
never was
tiny
too
issue with
much
spontaneous
into
combustion, so they rebranded those
horror
as grenades.
games as such.
Now listen up, recruit.
Obviously,
Lilith
I
ordered
have
us to
tried
take
some,
over a Children of the
but I
Vault
don't know.
propaganda center. Time to
thing
show
is
those
that,
culty weirdos that no
know,
one messes with the
horror games
Crimson
mostly
Raiders.
don't just
Follow me, recruits.
enjoy them, but I don't know. Oh yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it just going. Here's a
Before we wreak our righteous vengeance, you'll need to register your echo at this
explain
quick
me
change.
about.
Once we defeat the cult, I'll be famous. And when I'm signing autographs,
but
I need you
pretty
looking
much
sharp
do
while
that
defending me
character.
from my legions of fans/stalkers.
I'm not gonna tune too much these because I mean, like, who gives a damn how I look? Even I don't
User
care.
agreement. Boring. Don't worry.
Fatal Frame. Yes, I know the game by the name,
Except
but to be honest, never played
and
it.
Hyperion. The propaganda center is this way.
If I'm not mistaken, it was one of those Japanese horror
A
games.
locked gate?
You have to take
No!
photos
This can't be happening!
ghosts
The entire
or
mission is
something.
ruined! Think, Claptrap, think! You're brave and powerful, and people always do what you tell them to! That's it!
If I
Recruit,
remember
get that
correctly,
gate open!
so it
That's
was
an order from your superior
first
officer!
Xbox, maybe. Or then Xbox 360, PS3, whatever. Yes, keep these past me.
You did it! Best recruit ever! But don't get cocky.
So this is, first of all, kind of a short tutorial, kind of thing, so I'm just gonna try to run into some action.
The propaganda center is up ahead. Those
Yeah, I know
fellas that
Silent Hill
defended
music
Crimson
is
Raiders left and right.
just kind
They
of
totally suck scat
very
balls.
famous for
But I
its
got
like,
a
and I
foolproof
do
plan
like
to
when
kick their
it's
pulpy
very
asses.
horror type of
I
music.
hit a weapons cache nearby.
Actually, that's
Stay
one
quiet
of the
and follow
reasons
my every move.
why I do
It's
like so
go
much dark ambient, because it's often so much more darker than any metal, to be honest. And some of those horror games really have really gloomy, really sinister, really dark, really evil soundtracks. So I strongly suggest that anybody into into any kind of dark music would just overlook the music of horror games or horror movies, for that matter, because it's often very, very evil, very dark,
Perfect.
very
Once we complete our mission,
just
Lilith has to
kind
promote
of
me to
stuff
super
to
general.
piss your pants off.
Stand back!
That was stealth? How have you survived this long?
Relax. On Pandora, it's actually super
I
weird
should
if
have this
something's
kind
not
of tone
exploding.
that this my
Now
character
take
has.
your gun, recruit. You're gonna need it.
like this every day when I breathe
These
in.
guns, like myself, aren't beholden to their primary function. I can dance and sing. And some guns now
Okay, so
include
I got
an
a
alternate
gun.
shooting mode. Try it out.
Children of the Wolf.
Keep your flesh,
Follow me,
take your
recruit.
guns, cleanse your skin.
Let's get in. Time is pretty much 1 a.m.
Wait here.
in Finland.
I'll
Where are
talk
you guys,
my way in,
by the way,
become their king,
from?
and then you'll surprise slaughter them in cold blood. Watch and learn, recruit. Hello?
I would assume Yukio is
Anyone
from
there?
Japan. At least that's the impression I've gotten.
This is Sheriff!
People
All
and
the
Esu is from
influencer of the
Finland,
children
but
of the vault! What do you
regarding
want,
other people,
Robot?
no.
Hello, bloodthirsty maniac. It is I, Claptrap, Slayer of the Destroyer, and Super General of the Crimson Raiders. We have you completely surrounded. Open the gates now, and perhaps I will be merciful.
Yeah.
U.S. Okay, where from?
They
The
might call
U.S.
themselves
I would
children of the
imagine
vault,
it's
but
a
they're still
different
bandits,
time
and
zone
bandits are incredibly
from
stupid.
Finland. If you're from the
Okay,
East
we're going
Coast,
to
I would say you're
surrender.
7
Please
hours
don't kill us,
behind
Grandpa.
us. If you're in
That's what I thought.
West Coast,
Open the
it's more
doors
like
immediately for your
11
new
hours,
king.
maybe.
Easy! I'm coming out! Just wait right there!
Alright, let's get in. This takes too long.
We did it! I
West
did it!
Coast, California,
Another
baby.
victory for the Crimson Raiders!
Or more
Hey,
like
I
the
feel
Washington
funny.
State.
What's happening to me? Ah!
Also, you're pretty much enjoying the afternoon.
Ow!
Buddy.
I'm so bored.
Alright, now we gotta get into action. played this.
Remember to live life lightly.
I have driven the
Use this help.
what you call it? Pacific Highway, the Highway 1 or whatever it's called.
Hold up.
I like
One
you
of the
better
roads
instead.
people should drive, you know?
Put these bullets into the
What
bad
did that
guys.
do? Why did that die? I guess I should focus more in, you know,
You're finally
chatting.
awake. You were trying to cross the border, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Painful? Yes. Humbling? No.
I thought
I'm
it
still
was
the best.
already down, you know.
Before us, Red
So yeah, definitely California is very cool place. I don't know how it is to live, but I mean as a tourist, you know? Gotta say, it's one of those places I tell the people to go and see.
I know Claptrap can be a little claptrap, but he's still one of us.
You can see
We're gonna
this
have to
whole
save him.
game is
I'll be there
always so
soon.
full of loot. Just like the previous Borderlands games, it's just packed with these all kind of boxes, all kind of crates, all kind of well, toilets. Pretty much filled with, you know, wherever you see this green light, you know, you get stuff.
Funny.
Yep, that's very true. So many good bands. Not only Slayer and okay, no, I almost killed myself. Not only Slayer and Metallica, also bands like Testament, Exodus, and lots of great Bay Area thrash metal names. And I don't know how the black metal scene or the death metal scene is in the California, but great. About Doom Eternal, no, I'm not gonna buy it. Is the game volume still too loud?
Heal your wounds, recruit.
Relief.
Do you think it's picked by my microphone? Or is my microphone just, you know, like silent here? Because if it is, I could just try to adjust it. I cannot fix it. Just here, and then I'll try to see if I can adjust those settings. Hold on for a second. I'll just get these bastards.
Pathetic end for a pathetic creature.
So lucky. Oh, sir.
Recruit, there's no way your supple and delicate body can survive a showdown with Shiv unprotected. Look around for a shield.
Give me is that I don't hear jack shit from my headphones. It's probably because I have these you know, sound settings on my stereo settings. So anyway, let me know if the microphone should change. No, it hasn't changed. I have the same microphone. I just adjusted the position of my headphones a little bit.
There might be a shield in that
Maybe it
special
was
red chest over there.
too far away. Is it too silent? Too loud? Not enough loud? Because it's the same mic. So I have no idea what was going on. Much better. Okay, great. Okay, maybe it was some sort of a glitch. Just let me know if things are not working. Okay, just gonna check out some stuff here now that I have actually some stuff like the alright, good to know, good to know. Alright. I still have some crappy ass weapons here. As you can see, this is still very much in the beginning of the game, so obviously I don't have any cool gear. All the gear I have is just crap. And this claptrap is just yelling some stupid shit. I would say pay no attention to that stuff. And here you can see the poop humor, you know. Money and all kind of stuff is just stored or stacked into those toilets. Probably something more in the upstairs here. So whenever you see these kind of green stuff, you just gonna loot it. There's probably a little bit more stuff that way. I'm just gonna get a little bit more because otherwise I will just, you know, end up dead. This game is so much about looting, you know. It gets actually to a level of being very ridiculous. Even though this is one of those games that actually can, you know, laugh at itself, you know, just kind of a being ridiculous and knowing it and just like being okay with it. But, you know, I still think that, you know, even though it's kind of a nice that, you know, games actually do that. I mean, not being overly serious. Okay, there was supposed to be a way to get there. But, I mean, like, obviously you have to draw a line somewhere, you know, like, whether you're gonna be as serious or not, that means that you just have to find your, so to speak, your own ways to deal with it. I'm just gonna skip part of the looting because it, to be honest, doesn't make that much of a scene. Most of the stuff is just boring.
I'm gonna sharpen my blade on your spine!
This is sort of a mini boss called Shiv. You know, Borderlands games are best when you just do it with your friends. It's definitely best on cooperation. It's not that much fun if you play it single player. But I mean, this can be pretty enjoyable. It's just kind of a no-brainer. You just kill enemies, don't even pretend it to be intelligent kind of stuff.
You're stopped by
and then you can pretty much just enjoy it. And there it is. Well, there it is now.
It seems the
Now just leveling up and getting more skills. What about what do I think about
humans on Pandora are
Final
even more
Fantasy VII?
savage than
To be honest, I was working as a you know technical support guy back in the days when original Final Fantasy VII came out, and when I tried it, really didn't get into that anime style, that kind of a Japanese style and whatever. So I probably was too prejudiced, about how they should be. Oh, which way this was? Let me see. Yes, yes, yes.
beasts.
So here we have these different skill trees. Card skag. Let me see. Spider ant. Let's use that one.
Score 1 for the Crimson Raiders.
And because I didn't like the graphic style and whatever with Final Fantasy, I never got to actually played it. So I probably was too prejudiced, how the game was, and as such, I really didn't, try that back in the days. Maybe foolish of me, but that's why I never actually bothered to play it. So I have basically very little expectations from the remake. Probably not gonna get it, but I mean, who knows? At least the preview already looks pretty nice. People seem to be praising that and all that stuff, but obviously it depends how much nostalgia you have for the game series and all that stuff. I have watched Witcher series and I did like it very, very much. I think it's one of the better Netflix original series. I am much into fantasy in general, and I like the main actor, and also I like the style The Witcher just portrays fantasy in general. So very good series. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts, so I don't know how the combat is in Kingdom Hearts, but I understood that it has changed from this kind of a square-based round-to-round combat. Oh, that's what you do when you don't know how to walk. Maybe I should need more whiskey. By the way, Black Metal Nazgul, you do realize that your nickname kind of reminds me of Satanic Warmaster's previous names. That is when he was still in Hona, called Nazgul von Armageddon. I gotta say, I am mostly into turn-based combats in so many games. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, but I'm saying it's really fun. Turn-based combat is something that isn't there because, most of the games are, anyway, real-time action and whatnot. There is my pet. Yippee! Come here. Come to daddy. Yeah, turn-based combat is really, really nice.
Fear not, I've seen worse. Only barely, though.
Wow! I did it!
Yeah, Tolkien is probably the biggest individual thing to influence whole extreme metal scene, especially in black metal scene. Or that or Satan. Hard to say which one is more more famous, more influential. But there are lots of bands, you know, thinking of old 1990s Norwegian black metal bands like, you know, Isengard, Gorgoroth, you know, Burzum obviously. So many bands are so much Tolkien influenced. So it's like the biggest thing. And can't really blame them. I mean, you know, lots of black metal people are anyway kind of geeky, kind of nerdy in that respect, that this kind of fiction, no matter if it's sci-fi or fantasy, but obviously fantasy is more popular, it's there to just, you know, give people the, you know, the kicks, so to speak.
I am Flack, and your voice was in my head. Explain yourself.
Yeah, about that.
And now people are gonna ask me, oh, how do you find Jerry?
Seriously.
How do you find Tolkien? I must say, never read the book. I only watched the movies. That's kind of a classic comment, right? Because I have always been sort of kind of hyperactive.
Let me know when you're ready.
So I really have a hard time to kind of focus on reading, because, you know, it's not that I cannot sit down and, you know, read a book, but it's more like I kind of lose that concentration.
I'll equip it another time.
It's your funeral.
I like your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I guess I never was diagnosed with the that kind of a hyperactivity thing, but that's what I was told when I was a kid, that I probably have this ADHD kind of thing. It's an action. I don't know, to be honest, about that Fenris thing. Like, if he had that stuff stolen. Hello, GD Snuff. Nice to have you online as well. Motorhead, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath. Which of those 4 UK bands I like the most? Gotta say, I'm not a big fan of any of those, but if I had to pick one, I would say Iron Maiden. The thing is, I never got to listen to so much Judas Priest. I always kind of skipped it for one reason or another. And same, I guess, in some ways applied to Motorhead. Iron Maiden, well, beyond 1980s, I don't think it's that good.
All right, we got a foothold. Maybe
And
things are turning
hello,
our
LeBlanc.
way.
Nice to have you
Come on,
on
Killer, you're
the
with
line
me.
as well for us. And
Let me catch
metally,
you up. A while back,
gamey,
we found a map.
whiskey-filled
all over the Borderlands.
talk.
Dream come true, right?
And while Motorhead is, you know, very active and,
We got
you know,
attacked and the map was lost.
kind of, I like the attitude, I like the kind of heaviness and aggression and all that stuff.
So focused on finding the map, I
It's
didn't know
kind of
the
a too
Pandora was
rockish
changing.
for me.
The bandit clans used to
Judas
just
Priest
murder
has
each
some
other for
killer
fun.
tunes, but I
Now they're all under
just
one banner.
skipped it for most parts. I mean, and when it
The
comes to
children
Black
of the
Sabbath,
Vault.
never been big fan of that. I don't think
Right.
Ozzy is
Come on, let's
that
take
good
a
of a
look around.
vocalist, so I'm
The
more
leaders
of
are
the
Calypso
later
twins, and their
years
followers worship them like gods.
stuff. But to be
They're
honest,
convinced the
I
map will
am
lead
not
them to
just
something called the Great
fan of
Vault,
that kind of
and they've been slaughtering anyone who
proto
gets in their
to
way.
proto heavy
I
stuff,
heard a
or whatever
rumor
you
that
want to
Bandit
call it.
Clan found an
What,
alien
well,
artifact in the desert.
Black Sabbath is mostly, I know it's kind of a blasphemy
We're here
to
to
go,
find
oh,
out.
everybody should like Black Sabbath and everybody should do this and that.
I'll
But
stand
to be
guard.
honest, I grew up more with trash, so for me it would be more like, you know, talking about Metallica and Slayer and Anthrax and all that stuff, or just bands like, you know, Wasp, Metal Crew, Twisted Sister, and all that stuff. So, meanwhile, I do like British heavy metal, or British metal in just general. The thing is, I grew up with American stuff, be it metal or hard rock. So, that's how it goes. But I mean, great and influential bands, and really, they made a big impact on metal. Can't deny that. So, be it Iron Maiden, be it Motorhead, be it Black Sabbath, be it Judas Priest, they are all very, very big names. And about Depeche Mode, yeah, that would, if I had a guilty pleasure, that would be one of those bands. But I mean, I'm not ashamed of weird songs or bands that I've liked. I mean, for example, there used to be this song, or, well, still is, but I mean, I haven't listened to it for the past 10 years or whatever. But like Nelly Furtado had one of these songs which I really like the mood. So there can be just weird tracks which I just might enjoy for the mood or lyrics or both. Even though in general, I wouldn't be the genre, you know. So, but Depeche Mode is one of those electronic pop bands which I really, really like. Not their early 80s stuff, it's too happy for me, but their later darker stuff, which is, I guess, in a way more experimental in style also. Violator indeed is a good album, and that era is my favorite Depeche Mode stuff. I mean, there's so great lyrics, and you know, the feeling is kind of it's kind of you know, dark in so many ways, darker than many metal bands, even though it's not aggressive at all, and it can be kind of a softy, whatever you want to call it, but
I wonder.
Yeah, it's the kind of a stuff. So I'm not ashamed about, you know, liking non-metal stuff, because to be honest, even though I listen to a lot of metal, and I think it's kind of can be seen as a defining factor when we're talking about me as a persona, just, you know, whatever. But I mean, like, people who don't listen to anything else than metal, well, I would say they are missing a lot. I wouldn't say like, hey, they're
gaze
not,
upon my new configuration.
They're not real people, or they're childish or whatever. I mean, hey, that's bullshit also. But I think people, you know, just should give a chance to music beyond metal, because obviously, like I said, so many good bands are outside, you know, metal. And now I'm just gonna do a little bit selling and buying here. I'm just gonna do a little bit stuff in case you're wondering what the fuck I am doing here. So I'm just gonna get rid of the older material here, and I am gonna do a little bit adjusting. CMX, well, that is a kind of a good band. I already saw it in the 90s quite a few times, but never got to like it too much.
No refunds. You've got enemies and I got ammo. Shoot more, shot more.
And yeah, classical and jazz. I mean, why not? For me, it's mostly, if I go beyond metal music, which is mostly, obviously, as you probably all know, it's mostly about black metal, death metal, thrash metal, some traditional heavy metal, sometimes doom or any kind of hybrids. But sometimes, you know, if I want to go outside metal, I would rather go into soundtrack music, or, well, like I previously mentioned, dark, ambient.
A handy trick.
Ammos, grenades. Alright. So I still have these crappy guns. But jazz is kind of a tricky because obviously there's so many different styles of jazz. You know, if it's just one of those kind of weirder styles, obviously it's very different from kind of
I like your enthusiasm.
I don't know if there's even stuff called like mainstream jazz or whatever. But I remember one of our go-to places maybe 10 years ago in my home city was a kind of a jazz bar. But I mean, it wasn't kind of a like fusion jazz or whatever. It was more about this kind of, you know, I don't know if it's called sort of danceable jazz or whatever. But I mean, it was kind of a cool bar because the music was more like
over the
sort of
my enemies.
I don't know if it could be called lounge music because it wasn't exactly that either. But you know, it's kind of enjoyable, just really easy to just, you know, stick with that music. And even if it wasn't music I would be like, you know, listening at home, it was the kind of stuff that I would just, you know, have while having beers with my friends and all that stuff. But to be honest, I have no idea what the actual genre for that kind of music would be, so what do I know, man? As you can probably noticed, I am not actually paying so much attention
It's
to
the Sun Smashers camp, but it looks like the COV got there first. Don't let them leave with the map, killer.
You there? How are your last breaths?
Actual storyline here and the dialogue, because like I said, I think it's mostly just shit. And I'd rather talk to you with you guys rather than follow this nonsense dialogue. So I hope you're cool with it. So you're gonna miss a lot of this stuff here if you're just gonna try to figure out what's going on when I'm playing. But obviously I don't
This was always your
enjoy the game story or whatever just by watching that gameplay, because obviously that wouldn't make much of sense, right? Because obviously if you're enjoying a game, probably gonna want to play it by yourself anyway.
need ammo.
Okay, now I'm out of ammo, which kind of unsatisfying. I'm not having beer, I am actually having some Scotch whiskey. Okay, this calls for some close combat maneuvering. Yes. Let's kick some melee action here. As you can see, these guns are ridiculously low in terms of efficiency. You know, you can just go with a shotgun from close distance, you know, close range that is, and it doesn't even kill the son of a bitch. I prefer, well, hard to say. There are times when, you know, Scotch whiskey is the shit like gaming, because it's not like beer of this type. Whiskey is getting you know, warm while I'm playing. I don't have to care about that. But if I had to pick one, I would go for beer. I mean, if I had to choose. No, I'm not a big fan of Gambina and cheap stuff like that. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's not great stuff.
The hunt continues, but yours won't.
I die.
And by the way, people who don't get what Gambina is, it's like some really cheap. I don't know if it's vermouth or something like that, but it's related to one of the Finnish. They call it surmakore, I guess.
You there?
Like,
how are your last breaths going?
Funnily enough, it would be translated as like deathcore, but it doesn't have anything to do with that same stuff, to be honest.
I am bringing it.
Okay, now it seems kill the motherfucker. Kill. And then you have it. It's a Finnish booze. I think it's the type is it's kind of like vermouth or whatever it's called, and it's related to this Finnish band, which is kind of a hardcore punk metal combo. Yes, it's Rytmihäiriö. So it's like their trademark booze. They have kind of like made a big deal out of it. Okay, now I got some weapons. I'm gonna just switch in the middle of combat because after all I need better weapons. It's vermouth and gin, okay. Thanks for clearing that out, because to be honest I was only thinking it's vermouth, but I don't know what else it could be. And there are other stuff like that in Finland. They're all, you know, very cheap, and they pretty much taste like shit. Well, not like shit, but I mean it's not quality booze. It's just, you know, this kind of cheap ass shit, which you just, you know, just cheap shit which you just drink to get drunk. It's not for the taste or class or quality or whatever.
Hello.
So yeah, they're like these kind of
I would prefer not to die like this.
I think all countries have their own kind of
Frank, we've all had a
cheap
great time, except
ass
for me.
booze,
Please get me down.
you know, which is kind of like a local thing to get, you know, wasted. And it has nothing to do with the quality, nothing to do with taste, nothing to do with, you know, coolness factor. But I think Rytmihäiriö really made Gambina to be one of those kind of cool things to drink, you know.
Shoot me down, will
Kind
ya?
of
I like to hang, but not like this. Not like this.
yeah, but I mean, I'm even talking about cheap beer, but I'm just cheap booze, you know, the kind of cheap wines, not the type of what La Blonde I'm assuming is having, but you know, the kind of a stuff that you just get because it's so easy to drink and it's cheap, you know. What's my personal take on Rytmihäiriö? To be honest, I've never been a fan of the band. It doesn't annoy me, but it doesn't please me. It just, you know, just one of those bands which I kinda understand the cult factor, but I don't know. For me, it always has seen as a little bit too humorous band. You know? Too much humor in the band in general.
Nice to meet you. Hey, thanks. If you hadn't come along, I might be dead. So.
And also, GD Snuff, you need to know that
I am on an
traditional
unending hunt
wine
for the
is not a
glory
big,
of...
big thing in
As of
Finland,
right
you
now,
know,
I am
because
working with Lilith and the Crimson Raiders.
people are not drinking
You're with the
wine
Firehawk?
as such
Oh man,
to
I
get,
used to run with
you know,
Lilith back
drunk,
in the day.
but it's
but,
more
you know,
like
now I'm a bandit war chief. Go Sun Smashers. I mean,
more like this kind of a cocktails, not cocktails, but
clan found that stupid alien junk.
drink mix
I warned
stuff.
them not to mess with that crap. But
So
what
it's
do?
just,
They
you know,
tie me up and they
doesn't
take it to the
matter
Calypso twins.
what it tastes
Not
like, really.
cool,
It is.
bro.
What matters most is that it's cheap
Well, we
and
should
it's
probably get out of here
available
before the
easily,
COV come back.
and that gets you drunk.
Where are Lilith
Like the
Raiders
national
headed
The cult
spirit
propaganda center
is
nearby.
Kossu
It's
or
our territory
Koskenkorva,
now.
which is basically
these days?
like
Now we're talking.
meteor
Come on, let's get out
vodka.
of here. I'll lead the way, even though I'm totally unarmed. Can't let them know you're afraid.
Ja
to
Minikissan Upi-kanava
Bandit
is now
life!
very much in the booze, typing those comments all the way, and they don't even make sense. Just to let you know, I can see only like 4 comments at any given time. So, in case you just happen to send me a lot of comments, that is
Yes,
kind of a
they
spam
fought
me.
like animals. Sick, wounded animals.
In a relatively short span of time, I'm gonna miss some of those comments
Man, the children
because
of
I
all
get to
totally
see only
trashed
a
my camp.
few of them at any
not
given
where that
time.
bloody
So
skull should
if
be.
things get hectic in the game,
Ruining the
I'm
vibe.
gonna miss some of those comments. So if it seems I'm not replying to you, just poke me for another time if you wish. That's why I
Well,
was
I never.
teasing
I bid you good day.
Mini about, you know, that comment. Okay, I need to spend some skill points. I don't even care which skills I'm picking because this is not too serious gaming anyway. I think it was last weekend when I was having whiskey while talking to you guys. I kinda ended up a little bit tipsy, you know, when having
Skag
these
Central, am I right?
whiskeys
You know, I'll
while
let you
gaming.
take
I wasn't
care of
even
them. Only
drinking
thing I'm
because
packing right
I mean
now
I
is
rarely drink
not something I'm
in
gonna
ways
use
that
on
I
this guy.
actually get drunk, but I mean when I finished the stream I was a little bit like, hey, what the fuck? It was kind of fun.
Invincible!
Yeah, why you gotta be really
Let them
drunk?
hear your rage!
You are tipsy. So what have you people been doing now with the coronavirus and gigs getting cancelled? Like, have you any tips how to kill time so you don't go mental? Like, for example, what have you been doing, GD Snuff or LeBlanc or Mini? What do you do now that the coronavirus is pestering your daily lives? You lift some weights, that is always a good idea. I don't know if you noticed, I posted it on my Instagram and Facebook, but I did a little bit deadlifts out on the yard. Just because, you know,
Weak.
really don't feel like going to the gym to do a little bit deadlifting. gotta say the mindset for you know
bandits don't need gods. We worship a hot
lifting
fire
at
and a
home
charred piece of meat.
versus
There are rules.
going to the gym is a little bit different. It's kind of harder to push yourself to the limits when you know doing gym work at home, because obviously you're not mentally set for the shit. You know, the kind of a hard ass action. You're more like, okay, I just supposed to lift and all that stuff, so it's kind of annoying. So you're on lockdown. What does it mean in, you know, in like actually?
Oh, sweet digs. Fortified, well ventilated. You know, throw some bloody skulls up on the walls. You got yourself a nice, cozy place here, friend.
Vaughn? What the hell are you doing here?
Hey, a Lilith! Former war chief of the Sun Smashers, reporting for duty! Go Crimson Raiders!
Good to see you, Vaughn. The Raiders will take all the help we can get. So, Vault Hunter, did you find a map?
Home office, that's very important. Nice to hear, Black Metal Nazgul, that you at least bought the shirt. It's better than nothing. Yeah, exercise bike is also much better than nothing, definitely.
Always a pleasure, Vault Hunter.
GD snuff, alright, that's fair enough. Well, I hope that people are, you know, able to make money to, you know, survive, because it's kind of a given that we will have sort of an economical crisis in many places. And for example, much like LeBlanc just stated there, that it's only going out for essential reasons, for like medications, certain work, food and whatever. And that's happening also. Like in Finland we don't even have a big crisis in a way, I mean, compared to like countries like Spain and Italy, where people are just dying in big numbers. Thing is, like, capital area in Finland that just got shut down. You know, I think every citizen now got like text message from the police in Finland that this capital area is now, you know, in a lockdown. You just can't get in or out. That's shitty enough. That is nice to hear that you can get alcohol and weed. And yeah, I gotta say, restaurants and pubs are pretty much closed here as well, and I think it's good. But my Finnish friend, who is now living in Sweden, Stockholm, for quite a few years now, also, I just, you know, had some talk with him on Facebook before streaming, and I was saying, like, you know, basically, this day has been just like any other Saturday, you know, for the most parts. I mean, like all parts anyway. He said, like, yeah, same here, I'm just in a bar. And I'm like, what the fuck? You are in a bar, even though Sweden is not clearly taking things too seriously. And my friend just replied, yeah, the limit is like under 500 people. Like, it's not that serious, and, you know, everybody's gonna get it. I'm like, dude, it's like, you can do it, but it's not smart, you know? Go home, like you said. Yeah, stay home. That's way better. Sorry to hear that, Halbeard. Now it would be pretty okay time to visit Finland. And it's, you know, it's getting warmer and the nature is more pretty and all that stuff. But traveling is pretty much fucked right now. For example, I'm planning to go to United Kingdom for a Black Metal Fest in July, early July, I think, like 4th of July or something like that. To be honest, I don't expect that trip to happen, because, you know, well, because I don't think things will change by July enough. But
I wish I had a cool
we'll see.
nickname like Firehawk. I wonder what mine would be. Like Stone Wolf. Or...
Okay, I'll skill points. Let's just add it here.
Underwear, Chief.
Yes, I am planning to go to Darkness Guides Us. Obviously that is in November, so things might be very different in November, but like nobody knows for sure how much it is different then. Yeah, last year when I was there for the first time, I must say I really enjoyed the fest. It was really nice fest, and I really want to go back there. Well, LeBlanc, you mean the festival in July or Darkness Guides Us? In July it is this what the hell it's called, Legions of Darkness or something like that, in Cumbria.
Hey, I've got an idea. Do the thing I told you to do.
Yeah, you haven't seen Satanic Warmaster live. Well, Satanic Warmaster is good live band as well.
Recruit, you have to help me. I lost my antenna.
I know your pain, little friend. I will assist you.
Yes, I'm gonna be bigger and badder than ever.
Yeah, the July one is, I think it's called Legions of Darkness. It's in the middle of some Cumbrian countryside, something like that.
Do this mission on the side, and you'll probably want to get a vehicle for this one.
Don't hold back! Go and meet death.
Touchpad.
Vaughn, what the hell? You knew I've been looking for that map. Why didn't you bring it to me?
Whoa. Okay, I see what happened here. Let me explain. I let the map slip into the hands of culty psychopaths, and now the whole galaxy's in danger.
Yeah,
They're gonna see a beautiful lady.
Okay, same page. You know what this calls for? Apology push-ups.
In the game, that is. I know you all want to see me playing the game, but I just can't put the camera on because it would be so awkward. Yeah, Sova from Barathrum, I mean, he doesn't so-called spit in the bottle, if you know that saying.
Now remind me, what'd you say you was gonna do to my gal pal?
Now there's a big, beautiful lady.
Drink soup from the skull of the great heretic!
Just take a look at the,
finger slipped.
take a look at the screen.
Oh, howdy! Didn't see you there.
Ellie. Yeah, LeBlanc, I don't know how things obviously will be with those Bloodstock and other fests.
Good to see old Lil found some new blood. I'm Ellie. Hey, what are you staring at, hun?
But I guess we'll see in a couple of months how things will be.
You've got admirable heft, girl.
Ain't you a heartbreaker?
But yeah, Darkness Guides Us,
Lil said
that
you
is
was
still
looking for a
over
vehicle.
6
Saying
months
cultists
away.
stole mine. Mine's still
So
on that. Then I'll set
I
you up
am
with
pretty
extra rides.
convinced that if this
Thanks for coming by.
epidemic will be beaten, it will be fucking beaten
As long as
by
you get my flirt
November.
on, you'll do fine.
But who knows, traveling still might be
You running with the fire
hard
huh? Pretty
cookie
sweet
to
deal.
track,
Lil's a local
crack.
legend around Pandora. Saved
Not
our
track,
asses
but
more
crack.
times than I can count. Hey there, sugar boots.
Alright, let's get a vehicle. Not this way. But this way.
If you want, you can try hijacking a vehicle. Ain't nothing to it. Just run up to one and kindly tell the driver to skedaddle.
So, people, what are you drinking right now? What are you doing right now? Are you enjoying... Blondie was having wine, but what are you other guys having? Okay. Kill.
Someday. Great Vault. We all have a place in the Great Vault.
A Pilsner. Why do you like Pilsner? Isn't that like the most non-tasteful beer in the world? I'm not dissing your choice, I'm just merely questioning your choice. Like, why Pilsner? And what kind of beer they actually make in
I hear you, beast.
in your area?
Got some lead for ya.
Any cool craft brews there, GD Snuff?
Doesn't kill you, makes you. It's a cupcake.
Well, Pilsners and lagers are not that different so often.
I am the face.
So
and you're
often
the
they are
mule.
just, you know, like
Screw you, mule.
When did you eat?
light stuff.
You are prey. This is the way of things.
Yup, I can imagine Pilsner being kind of a common in Germany. After all, they are big on lager and whatever. Yeah, I know American beer culture is just great. I mean,
The Calypsos will protect me.
I've had a lot of cool...
I'm out.
For the
Hey,
twin
come
god.
on, motherfucker! I need to change my gun.
Tell Tyrene I'm
Yes.
sorry.
This is just fucking ridiculous. I mean, American beer scene is just, you know, great. Been there a few times, and you know, it was just so amazing. Like
You there.
wherever
How
I
are your
went,
last breaths?
always great beer available. So I have two pistols. Am I stupid or what?
I see it. The Great Vault.
Yeah, people. I remember when I was like kid, people was like, "Yeah, Americans don't know how to make beer," because people were thinking back in the days. This was, mind you, 90s. People were thinking that whatever Americans made, it was, you know, what the fuck? People were thinking that just it's just all, you know, Budweiser, and that's it. But you know, when I went to the States, it was so great to learn that, you know, wherever I went, there was some great beers available. Like really good stuff.
I must have thrown them all.
Hello, Robinson. Where are you from, Robinson? Reveal thyself.
Yes, to the bloodletting! Into the darkness.
This really sucks, man. This is how you destroy a goddamn vehicle.
This is no longer yours.
And this is how you hijack a vehicle.
Coming at you,
And this is how you actually don't drive a vehicle.
Body construction.
Having a firearm in Finland is very difficult. First of all, you kind of have to prove yourself kind of worthy. I don't know how to explain it because I don't know the details, but what I know based on some friends who have them, you kind of you have to have a kind of a good reason to own a gun. For example, you might have a work where you are kind of justified to have a gun, I guess, and also if you have like proven that you can handle your gun in the gun range or whatever, you might have that working for your favor. But it's hard to it's not easy to own a firearm in Finland. It's not like impossible, but it's hard. Let's see where to go here. Taking the long route. So I know that Finland is very, very different from the States in that respect. That, you know, in many states in America, people can just buy guns with relative ease. Or that's how I understood. But you know, even though Finland is very liberal in so many ways, owning a gun is not one of those things.
I've been testing. All yours, sweet thing. Just make sure you equip it.
Yeah, I've understood it. It's totally varies from state to state, um, but at least I think it's so much more easier to just basically on any
Now, head to the Holy
state in the
Broadcast Center
United
and
States
find that
easier
map.
to get a gun than in most, European countries. Well, you can't go into the woods without protection. I mean, you need protection from what exactly? I mean, there really isn't much you to need to be protected from. Nah, there are not too many bears. I mean, sure, Finland has some bears, but I don't even remember hearing about, a bear causing that much of, trouble.
Support local business. Sell to Marcus. No questions asked. Have some money. Now why not spend it?
But yeah, I guess, in some places having guns might be easier just because, there might be some more reason for that, I mean, there are countries like Faroe Islands, where you actually need to have a rifle, for example, because of polar bears, because they might just fucking kill you if you don't have a gun. But to be honest, that's no Finland, that's no Sweden, that's no Norway. Here those things really don't happen.
Ready to go?
So might have people confused about it, because in the Faroe Islands, I mean,
Vaughn,
you really could get killed.
Know anything about it?
So it's like mandatory for people to have those rifles if they head, like out of city. That's what I read and heard anyway. So it's not like, safe to go outside to cut more gold countryside, or else you will totally risk your life.
We're gonna pull this off. We're gonna need those pictures of me to feed into the 3D scanner thing. Then we can start printing out the statues that look like me instead. That'll really tick off the Calypsos.
Well, that's no safe space, yeah.
I didn't go from Hyperion accountant to bandit war chief just to follow orders again. But, after I refused to join that stupid cult, Green Calypso put a bounty on my sculpted ass. And the rest of me too. But
That's
I'm
one of the
still
great
alive, baby.
things in
I'm still shaking it, bro.
Borderlands games, by the way, is that the humor is kind of it can be quite awkward, and it can be straight to the point about like border dates and stuff like that. And I think it's a good way.
Fall and be reborn to the hunt. Ready for a fight? Ha! This is my purpose.
There's one of those shock skags now. Get its spine.
Come here, puppy.
It's time to fight.
Go on, pick it up. Hope you don't mind handling visitor. Ah, very good. Bring it back to the machine. And be quick about it.
So, do you guys have any plans to travel that now get cancelled because of this Corona shite? Yes, and I did start the channel and pretty much at Steelfest 2017, because that was the place where we filmed the first few interviews. So yeah, I am going to do a little bit of a celebration for 2017. Nothing too fancy, but you know, like, I don't know, just kind of some excuse to have a sort of a celebration video, you know. Maybe I'll just buy a cake and eat it by myself. Who knows? Something like that. So you're one of the early on guys. Cool. Really cool. And you're still not bored with this voice or face. That must be odd. Okay, what the fuck I am going, by the way? Oh, sorry to hear about that, Halbeard. I hope you really get that thing going.
Okay, now install the spine. Well
Yeah, I know
done,
people only
son.
follow the channel
Now
because
you
I
have
suck
access
so
to
much,
my
you know,
vast
because
array of
they just want to
murderous wares in a new
watch the
convenient
channel for,
location.
you know,
Good
feeling
hunting.
themselves better, you know.
Good hunt.
Kind of would make sense, you know, like, hey, I watched this old fucker just because then my life doesn't seem so, you know, pathetic. I'm wondering where the fuck I should be going. I'm just picking all the quests and now like, yeah, different places. Yeah, that's kind of a smart GD. I think it's very good idea to not travel if you can just, you know, avoid it. I think that I will be skipping most of my travels as well.
Yo, Vault Hunter. So that road will take you right to the Holy Broadcast Center. Watch out for those so-called twin gods. What
Yeah,
I hear,
yeah,
Tyrese
it's
Calypso's
better.
the star of the show. Her brother
Let's
Troy
go
runs the
there.
cult's propaganda. P.S. They both suck. Just saying.
It's really very interesting times in so many ways. It totally sucks to have this kind of a
How does the day find you?
Your cordial
this kind of
greetings
a
to the uneasy
virus. I
for
mean,
some reason.
I'd never had expected this kind of thing to happen during my lifetime.
Require that
But then
note
again, I
that
don't know how many generations were expecting things like war and shit like that to happen. So I guess every generation needs sort of a weird shit and a catastrophe and whatever.
I need that hat.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like, saving money for the next thing.
I can feel the mind control releasing its hold. Yes, keep disputing the dishes so that I can finally be free of the voices.
Where is the satellite disk? Dun 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 dun. You know, I'm actually quite tired, so I'm losing my focus here, and I'm like, fuck this shit. Oh, it's there. Let's see if I can.
Where did that come from?
Come on now. What the hell? Now it's done.
I am free! Yes! We're free of those horrible...
Finally be
crawling
the
things.
skin cupcake.
Finally be the skin cupcake!
Let the hunt take you!
And yet, I'm
Well,
still
he's
sitting.
dead. Now pick up that hat. Shiny. That hat would make me the talk of the
So
town.
any cool albums you guys have been listening to this spring? Anything you found through the channel or otherwise? Are there any albums that you found thanks to the channel, or just everything cool by yourself? I'm just curious. It's not like I'm trying to measure my dick here, because it's like always cool here if those reviews have been useful, or if you have found some other cool stuff. Doesn't matter which way you found it.
Bloodthirsty psychopaths Pandora's ever seen. I mean, look, my clan only accept the
Oh,
music
yeah,
and
yeah.
kill
I know
clan with
what
just my
the
ass.
band
So
you mean.
Imagine what it takes to unite all
Dimholt.
the clans together. You'd need like a 20-pack. 18 bare mins.
Yeah, I know what you mean, GD, and that's how it should be. I mean, like, why the fuck you should settle for,
Hey,
you know,
there's something in there we could use.
mediocrity.
Check it out.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting band because
You'll have to get under that big
they actually sent me 2 copies,
Ever greater,
but
ever stronger.
not just because of Rauta, they actually had.
having some trouble.
Right here! Right now!
How low can you go? Pretty low, if you ask me. You'll never get in here. You can make it through. I believe in you. Just still fly.
So they sent me 2 copies, you know, one for Imperium where I do these written reviews and one for Rauta, and they only later on got to learn that it's the same motherfucker. Well, I gotta say, I like listening to a lot of different stuff, and I don't mind that most of the stuff it's not that great.
Crouch. It's not that hard.
I mean, I keep the cool ones, and I just ditch the rest after I'm done with them. GD stuff, you mean the Solothus, maybe? Hello, Frank. Yeah, Maras that's good. And when it comes to Werewolf Devil Crisis, I already had actually talked with LeBlanc that I still haven't gotten the copy I was supposed to get for review.
That smile.
I actually just reviewed the latest Norhem album, and I think that's already something you should be checking out. Came out in February, but I just managed to get to that like on Friday. Halbeard, yes, that's exactly how I picture it doing. But you know, the thing is, like I said, so many people don't understand like what the fuck you're doing, the like listening all the shitty albums and all that stuff. But I like to think that yeah, I want to do the dirty work, and if people will find some cool albums because of something that I come across, you know, it's cool. And if some people just want to skip all those albums because me or some other people didn't like them, well, that's cool also. I mean, it works in so many ways, you know. But that's why I think review guys are for. They're to help to let people know what the fuck is going on. I mean, like which albums came out by which bands, and also to kind of help to skip some non-essential, you know, albums. Like, you know, when you're like low on money or low on time, it's there to just, you know, trying to help that stuff. But obviously I get that nowadays it's so easy to listen to whatever is out there. I mean, like, people could be like, why the fuck would I spend time listening on these guys' opinions when I can just actually listen to music myself? And that's a, you know, I don't find that problematic, to be honest.
Dump trucks in the neighborhood. I can practically smell this sumbitch. Look around, VH.
I mean, you know, the reviews have done their part in helping to people discover new music, if it only means that somebody is gonna check out some band or some release, even though they might not be.
There must be something down there. See if you can open that floor door somehow.
Even if they don't check out the review.
There's gotta be a way to get that door open.
Thank you, Halbeard. I hope to do in a good way, and I obviously hope to make these reviews even better, you know?
Maybe you can get up high and slam down on it. Get real high and jump crouch to tap into your inner strength.
I still think that I keep it a little bit too lengthy. I don't know. It's kind of a hard to, because I mean, like nowadays, for example, when I tried started to include more this
There's gotta be a way to get that door open.
fuck.
Maybe you can get up high and slam down on it.
Like, you know, when I started to include more of this Metal Archives information on that, those reviews, I noticed that some of my
High and jump crouch to tap into your inner strength.
it's kind of come on. Those you know, reviews started to become longer and longer, you know. So like for example, if I could squeeze in like 3 to 6 minutes and review, nowadays they're back to, I don't know, 5, 8, 10 minutes.
Get that door open.
I suppose I'll take that.
Maybe you can get up high and slam down on it.
Yeah, but I mean, even 8 minutes might be too much for that stuff. I don't know.
Get real high and jump crouch to tap into your inner strength.
You are nearing a historical marker of Typhon de Leon, the first Vault Hunter. Sadly,
Just jump over it and hit crouch.
How come I am not able to open this? Mother
There's
fucking.
gotta be a way to get that door open. Maybe you can get up high and slam down on it.
God damn it. Because I'm pretty sure that I actually did manage to open it by just jumping on it when I was playing co-op with my friends. Capital area in Finland is actually
Tap into your inner strength.
on lockdown now, so you can't get in or out. But I don't know if it's more than that really.
Just jump over it and hit crouch.
Okay, fuck that shit. I'm just gonna
There's
skip
gotta
it
be a way to get that door open.
because it seems that time is quite late. I think I need
How
to
are your last reps going?
start to consider
Get up high and
hitting the
slam
sack soon. Let me see what the time is. I just misplaced my phone, it seems.
down. Tap into your inner strength.
No idea
Let the life bleed
what
from
time
you.
is. any last minute questions you wanna ask me before I start hitting the sack?
There's gotta be a way to get that door open.
Wasn't my day.
And because if not, I think I will see some of you
Maybe you can get up high and
next
slam down on it.
week. More games, and obviously more reviews are still being downloaded, and I would assume soon I will have those
Get real high and jump
reviews.
your inner strength.
Interviews, I mean, from Turku Saatanale Fest. Yeah, thanks. I was expecting it to be closer to
Just jump over it and hit crouch.
3 a.m. at the moment. So that's why I need to hit the sack in a bit.
There's gotta be a way to get that door open.
It just seems that my editor is a little bit busy, or has been, but there should be
Maybe you can get up high and slam down on it.
one interview coming out.
You there? How are your last breaths going?
Fall down, you motherfucker!
Real high.
Fall down!
Tap into your inner strength.
Nice killing, Big H. Pretty sure
Yeah, I think we're gonna put them out in like one interview every 2 weeks. Especially now that there's not much coming in the following months thanks to this corona shite. So it's probably some interview every 2 weeks, and as such they all should be out within 2 months or so. Depending, of course, always how busy my editor will be. But that's pretty much what I can tell you. 4 interviews coming up, and not one of those is Azazel, even though that was already agreed to do, but some other time it seems. Anyway, thank you guys and gals for sticking with me here in this chat. It's always nice to talk to you. I don't know if my gaming makes much of a sense to you, but to be honest, I couldn't, focus on chat, on stream for 2 hours if I had, say, nothing else to do but chat. So this is my excuse to do it. Anyway, thanks LeBlanc, thanks to other fellas and
There's gotta be a way to get
gals and whatever out there. Likewise, be safe. Be sure to remember, wash your hands with soap. Don't get too close, handshaking, hugging, sex, whatever you need to do. So be well, be smart about it. Don't panic about this corona. It's gonna take its time, but we will fucking get over it. And then there will be gigs once again, and more normal stuff. Take care wherever you are, and see ya. Good night. See you with the reviews and other videos. Take care. Should you have any questions, remember to put them on one of the videos, and I will get to read your comments later on, and of course answer them as well as possible. Anyway, cheers. Good night.